Hello everybody. So, today I have a special video that took lots of time of preparation, and sadly I want to keep it short because all the preparation was a bit useless. So there is this new project on Kickstarter called Wonder of the First CCG. And maybe you heard about it, maybe you didn't. I want to try to be objective today and not to listen to what other people told me, but just to focus on the information I got from myself, from interacting with the group. And just by, basic, checking with working on what and things like that. So anyway, there was this project. It was first on Kickstarter, I believe, like 3-4 weeks ago. There was some NFT in it. They don't call it NFT, but whatever. Character proof, we will talk about it. So it got stopped by Kickstarter, and then it was relaunched without those cards that were in the booster that allowed you to obtain what is called a character proof that is similar to an NFT in the sense that you own the digital art, you own the IP of the card. Anyways, this was removed so they could relaunch, all good. And I've been talking with them for like 3-4 weeks. They have a huge team of people, which is quite impressive, like a lot. And I talked with their head of marketing. No, I don't even know who I talked to. I talked with a lot of people. Trinity, head of communication, indeed. First they were like, oh yeah, let's do an interview. I will send you some decks, and then no reply. And then, oh, sorry, we got some delay. Oh, then we got cancelled. And then, oh, but don't worry, please stay with us because we are coming back and we're going to be stronger than ever. And still, we exchanged. I talked a bit with Jeff, but very briefly. They asked me to prepare questions for the interview, which I always do, by the way. To do my due diligence and to study. I spent quite a lot of work, and the project is finishing in 48 hours. We don't get an interview. I mean, it was scheduled, but then they couldn't talk. I don't know. It was a bit of a mess. We might have one later. So I'm sad because I couldn't get all the information, and I will just have to guess, like most of people have been doing. And I couldn't touch card. I couldn't, try deck. I play on TTS, but it's just, I don't understand how they can have so many people in a project like that and can't even schedule an interview and send 2 deck to do a gameplay video. That being said, I want to keep the video not too long, and there are a lot of things to talk about. First of all, I want to say that I'm not one of those who think, oh, this is horrible because there is AI art. Yes, the art have been done through AI tools. It's not like somebody is drawing by hand. I mean, it's assisted by a human. By the way, actually, it seems there is only Christopher Kish. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. I do love the art. I have no problem at all with using AI art. I will talk a tiny bit about it. But some people say, oh no, that's a rip-off, that's a scam. I don't think because it's AI art that it's a scam. And let's look at it objectively, and I will tell you what I think about it. So I will just actually go through my interview, but without anybody to reply to you. But it's just easier to really cover everything. So like I was saying, yeah, it was first on Kickstarter, then cancelled. This happened a lot. Obviously, I think Jeff, who is in charge of this project, he's very passionate, and he didn't take it well, and he's always singing, oh, people hate me and there is a cabal behind me. The thing is, Kickstarter have been messing up a lot. They have a lot of projects coming, and that's one of their rule. Very strict rule is you can't have like Rumble. I mean, you can't get ticket to win something, you can get point to redeem something, and you can't get anything related to NFT. Simple, done. Kickstarter made a mistake. That's not a huge issue. So I will go what is the main, I saw the video from a Covenant that was very good. And I will explain what I understand is the situation and the story behind this project, which I like, by the way. I mean, That's a key point. So this project, from what I understood, it's with a grain of salt because, yeah, hey, I couldn't get a proper interview, at least send a list of questions, no answer. So it started about 2 years ago. And you can actually check Wonder of the First. Be careful, there is 2 web pages. There is a Wonder of the First that is about the card game. I don't know if I can find the, here we go. First page. That's a card game, but it started with this. Wonder of the First. All right. So it started about 2 years ago, and where to click, and they created. Let me move me around. Here you go. I'm going to be on the right side. Woo. So they created arts, 5,000 pieces of art, and that's quite a lot. And they are all here. You can look at them. They look pretty good. They created 5,000 arts and character through AI to build a world that will later be a card game. And you might think, well, that's kind of strange. Why would you create all those art to then do a card game? Well, we will look through those art and what it is, but you need to go a bit further. Those who created this company come from Blockpacks, and I'm not an expert in NFT and stuff like that, but my old guy, simple understanding of it's a company who try to mix, physical trading card and NFTs. So you can get NFTs that can be redeemed into real card or something like that. Sorry, it's a bit too complicated and too convoluted for me. But yeah, that's a collectible NFT company. I'm sure you can look at this page, explain better. So anyway, they have this big company. I'm assuming they are making quite a lot of money, and they say, this was cool, but they wanted to make something a bit different. I think Jeff, behind this whole story, is really passionate about cards, and he wanted, he come from baseball card, if I remember, the baseball card universe, and he thought, hey, let's make a game and let's make something fantasy behind it, and so he applied kind of the same thought process. Still, that's my understanding. And he thought, okay, well, we need to have a lot of characters, and let's use AI because, art costs a lot. If you want good art, and I'm not talking like this is for me kind of shitty art, and we see it's not too bad. This one is not too bad actually, but we see a lot of cards with misproportion. And typically, if you want to have good art on a card, you're gonna have to pay like $800. That's kind of the bare minimum. If it's under that, that's gonna be something really kind of. Sometimes you can get lucky, you can get some students, but otherwise it's kind of. And well, AI is gonna cost you nothing. So when you look at those cards here, I'm gonna zoom on them a bit more. Those are spectacular. I have nothing against AI. Yes, I don't feel the soul inside some of them, but I don't feel the soul inside basic art. Like my kids draw art. I feel the soul, it makes me happy. For a commercial product, I prefer this. Like nobody is offended when you look at video games. Most of the art is done assisted by AI. Dungeon and Dragon have been using AI-based art for a long time. This doesn't offend me. So, all right. So, you have this company, Blockpacks. They want to really make a card game, or like they want to make kind of really make the big bridge between NFT and those cards. So what they do is they create all those arts. 5,000, can you believe it? 5,000, you could make like 20 sets out of it. And then they sold some of them, not all of them. And that's when things become complicated. On OpenSea. OpenSea is a place where you can buy, let's see, like this card that looks pretty cool. They call it character proof, but it's very similar to NFT. If you own this, you own the IP of it, and you can trade it. You see the price is in ETH. And yeah, so they kept some for themselves I think the idea was to put inside booster pack, but they sold, or they, I don't know, the word mint and I don't know all the names. But yeah, so they are, most of them or all of them are on OpenSea, and they have a value and you can try to buy them. It's just, I believe the creator team is keeping some of them. So that's the story, okay? So they 2 years ago, they make all those art, they sell them, and then they have those art, there are those NFT / art, and yeah, they say, okay, let's make a game behind it. And you have to remember, those block packs people are not game people at all. Like, they are not, it's more like the concept created the art, and then you need a game behind it. And I believe Jeff, the main guy behind this project, first said that he came with the idea of 6 line, and yes, the game come with 6 line, but they had Brian, I forgot his last name. Oh man, those pages are always so long. Here we go. Brian Tinsman. We have been doing some magic sets. You have been doing some other things, like some good things, some less good things, but you know, he's been doing Plane Chase, if for those who know, not my favorite set. But you know, I mean, he have been working, doing some MTG set, working on D&D. I believe he worked on Pokemon and Duel Master a bit. And it's been a while that I think he's working on like fun games. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, he's a game developer, game designer. I'm not saying he's the best in the world, like some people say he's the best. I think he's very good. I don't know him personally. Just looking at, you know, I believe young people or people who make their first or second game can be good. It's all about the team, and one guy alone cannot make a game. So, you know, they talk with Brian. I think he's very, I would say, professional about that, you know. And he come up with a game, and we'll see how it works. But I think the game is pretty good. I tried it. I like it. And you know, they say, hey, yeah, okay, Jeff, and I guess other people. So Chris made the art. That's my understanding. And they, you know, they asked Brian to make a game to make this all work. And I believe Romal is actually a very cool guy, and he's working on the story behind. So you know, it's pretty convoluted. It's just, the game is just one part of all those other people. Most of them are part of Blockpacks or another companies. There is Alan Murray in the team. I kind of like his art. He's like a 3D artist. But you know, there is only one, let me find the right page, only one guy that is really a TCG guy, all right? Or a board game guy, or, you know, a gamer. I mean, I'm not saying they are not gamer, but, you know, who have experience in the gaming business. So we go Blockbacks, we create those NFTs, and then we make a game out of it. And that's how it came. Blah, blah, blah. I go through my notes because that's a quite complicated project. Yeah, and there is 5,000 NFTs / it's called character proof, and they use 400 of them for the game. I mean, they look neat. They look neat, you know. So all the art have been made. The thing behind is, you know, while you need to make the the effect of the card of the game behind, and so far they did only for 400. But that's, you know. So all the work was done. So now you understand kind of the story. Blockpacks became those kind of customer proof art that was sold as NFT-ish, and then with Brian's help, they make a game out of it. Instead of making a game out of Star Wars, for example, they create their own IP, and I think that's pretty good. Nothing wrong. To me, nothing wrong. I know some people are like very offended. So far, nothing wrong. I find it very good. I just go through my list. Yeah. If you look at the price of those cards, a lot of them are like 300 at least. And well, this one is a bit cheaper, but I found a lot of them are like at least 300. One thing that bothered me when I went through OpenSea to see all those things is that actually, when you get a box on Kickstarter, those are not the first print. I guess they are the first print, but they are not the first version. They are not the most desirable boxes. The best one in terms of collectability were actually sold still as like digital things that can be redeemed for the box, and there was cellulose box. I mean, they are not that expensive, but I think nobody's really selling them. And those, I think they have never been printed. That's my understanding. Same, a lot of mystery behind that. But I mean, cellulose booster and all the card was foil from what I heard. I mean, those are like super good. And so the Kickstarter is already kind of like, sorry, it's here, the second version. And they call it first edition because both are first edition, but not all the cards have the first edition logo, which I found all quite a bit confusing. I think, it come from the good place, making those cool art with AI and making a game around it with good people. I think it got too convoluted with like first edition, not first edition, or like, I mean, just put all the cards first edition in the Kickstarter and call it done. Because after the Kickstarter, it's not going to be first edition. But what about those boxes? And like, what about the card you pull here and in your Kickstarter, but that are not first edition? So it is a bit confusing. And a lot of people complain like, oh yeah, this is like a Web3 spam. I'm not that young, so I had to Google Web3. Yes, those are Web3 people. Those are NFT people. I mean, we can't hide under a rock. I don't see why those people are not able to create a project. Really, I don't think this is a spam or anything. This, like I said, those are like NFT people. They create those characters and make a game around it. And yeah, I mean, if you don't like AI, okay, well, don't get this type of product. But because those are NFT people doesn't mean those are not competent people. What bothers me is that there are not so many people in the project that have experience with board game and card games, so we don't really know, the quality of the card. I didn't receive any. We don't know, how it's gonna last, if the experience with organized play and things like that. All right, I go quickly more in my list. Blah blah blah. So now they got about 1 million in the pledge. I think it's quite surprising because a project like that typically would have get 200,000, 300,000. But you have to remember, you had all those NFTs. People bought them. There is a huge community behind block packs and then this. So these have been really a lot of process. Those people who own those art, of course, they are interested in the Kickstarter. And there is all the people who follow block packs and follow those art. Of course, they're interested in the card game. So that's why. And those people, obviously, I mean, if you are starting to have many NFTs, well, usually those people like to spend money in collectibles. That's why. That's why I think it raised such a high level. It's not the same market than what you see in normal card game. And you can see like this is typically the basic. You have the starter pack. You have like a booster box. We will talk about price after. Booster box, playmat to starter. If you look at the number of pledges, 810, most of people do that because that's pretty expensive already. I thought this was a good one. You see 245 people. I like to check what people pledge. A case, 203. But after when you look at those, because remember, those are not LGS. LGS can get their pledge separately. 20 backers, 33 backers, 33 people that back $8,000 in that. Those are really, I'm not saying those are fake people. Huh? I'm just saying those are typically people who have money, who are in the NFT business and who want to invest. So I would say more like we are looking at 200-ish people, 300 with a starter. Okay, let's say 5. Let's look at all the number. Oh, more. Okay, no, actually, we have about 1,000 among those, like 1,000 people that are 1,000 to 1,200 that are interested by the game itself, which is pretty good. And among those people, I would say the average pledge being like 200. Yeah, we are on like 500,000, which is pretty good. But this price is inflated by the fact that there are some very big pledge. So yeah, the art. Okay, like I was telling you. Well,
welcome to Wonders of the First.
Oops. No, I don't want to hear that. I mean, thanks, but you don't show cards so much. Yes, so let's not do that. I think the art is really good. I think the best way is really to look at those cards. To be honest, I think like AI can be lacking if you do characters in terms of soul, but if you do like sci-fi stuff, this is amazing. Like for example, like this is good. I don't know. I just think seriously the art is amazing, and I think that's what draw. The pose, it lacks a bit of dynamics. It's always like there is one guy in the middle, or an object in the middle. The exposition, the dynamic, this is lacking a bit. Nonetheless, I think that's gorgeous. The light, I mean, everything, it's done by AI. I like it, and if you like it, that's good. This is really not a problem. So the art is good. Yes, I mean, I had in the interview, I wanted to ask them, how much AI was involved. We will never know. And anyway, I mean, this is not that relevant. AI have been used, AI tools. There is this concern by artists from a lawyer point of view that, when you use AI assisted tools, those AI tools learn from real art, Like if you said, draw a bear, I mean, they're going to check out picture of bears or drawing of bears, which mean, my understanding is AI tools learn through the web or through, knowledge that you feed them with. So this project says that they didn't feed anything to those AI tools, they use them as is. So there is no, copyright issue, but one can say, oh yes, but the AI tools use the art of other people, and therefore, it's not pure creativity. On the other hand, if you think about it, any artist will also learn from other people's art. And I mean, I don't think there's anybody in the world who will just take a piece of paper and start drawing a Batman or a Spider-Man without having looked at tons of art of Batman and Spider-Man. So, you have to think about it like our brain is kind of working like that, more or less copying what other people have been made and mixing all our experience and creating something new out of it. And in a way, AI is also doing that. I mean, this is a whole debate. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I don't think the game should be, criticized too much for that. The art direction is pretty Wi-Fi. I mean, it kind of all over the place. That's one of the issues with Wi-Fi. You don't have such a strong cohesion. Like everybody wearing the same uniform or some. It's more like different pieces. Boom, boom, boom. It's more like a patchwork. But yeah, so I think so. You can check this page wondersoft.xyz and you can see the 5,000 card. So this is neat. In terms of gameplay, all right. So I tried the game is on TTS. I believe there's a rule somewhere. I don't know if I can find a good place here to. Well, I mean, let's look at the playmat. They have tons of playmat. Let's look at this one. It's a bit small, but so you have 6 lane. Where is it? Well. So you have 6 lane, and every turn you get energy. Your opponent get energy, and you get 3 action. One action can be used to draw a card, to attack, or to play a card. And every turn you increase how much energy you get. And first you battle only on the first lane. Then second round you can play card on the second lane, and so on and so forth. So the game stops when you play on the 7th lane, but you can still interact with the other lane. So this is pretty interesting, we see a lot of strategy card game now playing with lots of tile system. But here is only 6. However, I found it quite complicated because the board state become complicated. You can easily get 10 permanent on each side. and they can all kind of, if you change something, typically you win on one side if you have more power than on the other side, but you can easily influence that. So it's quite complex. Really, there are a lot of moving pieces, and the board, I feel, is a bit, there are a lot of permanent. You have to stack them. I'm not a huge fan of that. It works. It's just, if you have like 5 cards in this, you will have to stack some, and it can be hard to keep track of everything. I believe this can be solved. But just, it's quite easy to just understand how to play, but to actually play well and to, optimize your play, I think it's quite difficult. So in that sense, it's pretty good. I don't know if there are any counterspell or tricks, combat tricks. From my understanding, it was I do something, you do something. There is some interaction, but it's kind of like action based. It seems a generation of younger people are traumatized by counterspell, but I think that's what, interrupt or counterspell, combat tricks. That's what make Magic interesting. So yeah, I don't know if we have that. It seems we don't. So it's really permanent based. What else? Yeah, so Brian was working on Time Spiral, which is quite interesting because he made Ancestral Vision, or at least it was in a set that he made. He made Living Hand, so he liked to do things different, So overall, I think the game is pretty good. It just is it's convoluted and like I think it might be difficult. No wonder in that. No wonders. Woohoo! No problem with that. It reminds me a bit with like Decipher Star Wars, which is my favorite card game of all time, where you had sites and you play character on those sites, and you if you win, you get resources. It's like you have several sites and you can battle on all those sites. I don't know if it's for best of 1 or best of 3. That's something I wanted to ask. I don't know about tournament support because, like I say, those people are not really TCG player or like competition player, so not much information here. Brian did mention that there will be a point system, like a format. So each card will have a number of points, and let's say you have a tournament for 300 points where you have to bring a deck that is worth less than 300 points. The same way as with Warhammer. For those who don't play Warhammer, let's say you have a 1000 point battle, everybody can bring pieces in their army until you reach 1000 points. So the idea is to do the same. However, in practice, just looking at how things go in local game store, it's gonna be super hard to get 4 people playing this at a tournament. So I think it's okay if they just make a rule and say, hey, that's 300 points, that's the format, please just stick with it. But having several formats, it's gonna be impossible to find people to play. And the idea behind is that they want to have a database where the point of card is updated frequently. So that, if a card is too strong, the point is lowered, and so the metagame keep evolving even without new sets. All good ideas, just like, I think that might be too much for an indie project where there will be so few people. It looks like ideas that I would like to see maybe in Magic or in big games, but before we reach a critical mass, that's going to be really hard to make this relevant. All right, so let's talk about where I have a huge, where I'm not happy. There is something that really don't make me happy. It's the composition of the boosters. Where is it? First, seriously, uncut sheet of cards, $900. This is disrespectful. Because that's why people have been very upset with, oh yeah, it comes from NFT and stuff like that. Because they dictate the price of the product with how much they think the resale value would be. Or like they try to dictate what the resale value would be. I don't know, that's my impression. Because an uncut sheet of cards cannot cost $900. I could understand if they charge like $200. But this really don't make sense. The the cost, the value of something is not created by just selling it for more. You should sell for what it costs you plus your benefit, and then you people will want it if it's good, if it looks good or whatever. I mean, this is it. Anyway, let me come back to where the card, rule guide, because there is like, so first there is a red flag here, because I mean, I've been in this field for quite long time. You see 91 commons, 84 uncommons. So typically you want kind of the same numbers, or a bit less of uncommon. But then you see 84 rare. Okay, and if you stop here, this is a good set. But then 72 epics and 70 mythics. So it means you have 142 plus 84. You have 246 card rare or higher, which means about twice more than common and uncommon. And we see that sometimes in like Japanese card game, where typically you have like 3 rare per pack and like 1 epic or mythic, like SR or SSR per pack. And typically those are cheap pack and stuff like that. But no, here we are not in, I mean, I can't find where is it. Maybe that's after them. No. Sorry, I'm just scrolling around. I spent already a lot of time on this. I think I know everything by heart. Here. You get 4 common, 2 uncommon, 1 rare or better, and then 1 common foil and 1 foil of any rarity. I couldn't get the number, but I'm assuming foil of any rarity will be at kind of the same distribution. So, probably you have like, I don't know, 60% chance of having a common, 30% chance of having an uncommon, and like 10% of chance to have a rare, and then almost nothing to have epic or mythic. Which means from a game point of view or from a collector point of view, you get 1 rare in average per pack. Alors, there is this bonus hit where you can have a token, or you can have those, you have 1 chance into 3 to get a formless foil. You can have those orbital color match, which are very fancy and the one-on-one in less than 1.1% of packs. In practice, that's going to be a token, and 1 time every 3 times it's going to be a formless foil. That's going to look good, but a rare one, that's going to be really rare. So typically in a box, when you look at those numbers, the box are 24 packs. You're going to be lucky if you get 26 or 27 rare. All right. And I see in rare, including epic and mythic. So we are looking more like probably like you get 2 mythic. We don't know the distribution, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be like that. Like 2 mythic, maybe 3 or 4 epic, and maybe like 20 rare, or maybe a bit more, but something like 20. I think 20 rare and 6 epic and like 3 mythic, something like that. And when you come back to, obviously I forgot where it was, the distribution, you have to remember it's like 100 of each. There is 100 epic, I can't find it. There is like 100-ish mythic, 100-ish epic, and 100-ish rare. So I'm going to show you, because I did calculation. Let me try to rescale that a bit. This is my form where I take all my notes for interview, and I give them the statistic and stuff like that. This graph shows the chance to pull a given card, right? So for 1 box, 2 box, 3 box, 4 box, etc. So we see for common, if you want to have 1 of each common with a almost guaranteed, you need to have like 3 boxes. With 1 box, very most likely you will not have 1 of each common. You have to remember it's only 24 packs and like 10 cards per box. Oh, so by the way, those stats are a bit altered because recently they had a new stretch goal. They will add 1 more common per pack, which means it's probably more like you need 2 boxes to get all the common, and they will have 1 slot of any rarity. This is something that I asked them to do, but what I was asking is that the card of any rarity well, I was asking one of rare or higher, same as in Flesh and Blood. They didn't comment on that, and I don't think it's gonna be that. So we are more looking at something like that. And yeah, okay, so uncommon, you would need like 3 box, 3-4 box, that's okay. The issue is, I mean, common foil gonna be pretty easy to get. And when you look at rare, it's a beam is like, it's horrible. If you get 6 boxes, you get 60% to get a card, a given rare. So even with trading, that's gonna be impossible to get one of each, and to play is gonna be horrible. Like, because the card availability, typically you're gonna have to make your deck with common and uncommons, and you play with whatever rare or epic you pull. So you can't really, even, I'm saying, even if you spend $1,000, which corresponds to 6 boxes, if I remember, we are under 60% of the rare, and we are like 25, 30% of the mythic, like 40% for the 45% for the epics. So those typically, if you want to be competitive on, like, have one of each card or something like that, like in sorcery, that's doable. You buy like 2 case, for example. That's a big set. You buy 2 case, and during the Kickstarter, you had to pay maybe like $1,300 or $1,400, and you had a good chance to have every card. Not really every card, but you could trade to get every card. Here we are looking at, I checked, you would need to get at least like 30 boxes or 25 boxes to have a really big collection with almost one of each card. So yeah, I understand, if you come from you really want things to be collectible and like the sports card kind of things, this is good. But for a game, this is too low. If they add a flex slot, if they say it's rare or higher, we are a bit better, but still, like you see, the rare. I changed a bit the variety to see what could be done, and it's. I mean, if you just buy like 1 box, this is ridiculous. I mean, you're gonna be so limited. You will have like too few. You will have, think about it, 20 rare among 100, and like maybe 4 mythics among 80. This is so low. So in the world, there are going to be so few of each card, which is good for like the scarcity of card and the idea of value. But if nobody wants something, it's not very valuable. So this, I think they should have make less rare and more rare per pack. All right, coming back to because I want to wrap things up. Because I spent a lot of time on that. To be honest with you, I think this is workable. They could have do something good with that. My second issue is that you have this pack, the 195. You have 1 booster box, so 24 boosters, and you have 2 starter deck and a playmat and some nicey shiny cube. And you have, okay, something also that kind of bothers me. There is a common. The playmat, they have all of the rarity, but they have different price, or you have to be higher tier. And this is just, again, to make things more, scarce. I don't know. I don't like creating scarcity. I understand there is a business for that, but anyway. So we are at 195 for 1 booster box of 24 booster, 2 starter and playmat. Typically, I believe a box of 24 boosters should be about 80. Let me check my notes. So Flesh and Blood, we have 1 rare and 1 rare or higher, plus 1 foil, plus 1 equipment. So that's where you can get your legendary when it's an equipment. It's at $80 MSRP. At release, a Kickstarter should be lower. And also, if you use AI art, it should be even lower, because in all TCG projects, most of the costs go in art. So in that case, I mean, if those were priced like $60 per box for 24 booster, this is, even let's say, okay, 80 because whatever, it's shiny, whatever, I don't know. 80 should be really the max. How can it cost more than Flesh and Blood, where people had to pay the art, and we are talking wholesale. The Kickstarter is always lower because you should not make much margin. Look at the price. I think it's price of box, 150. Damn. Those types of mini box, nobody cares about that. A box of 24 packs, 150. I looked at my data. Cryptic TCG was $111 per box for 36 booster. Sorcery. I can't remember the price during the Kickstarter, but at MSRP, when it was released, it was $150, which means, there is a commission of the shop and stuff like that for 36 cards, and where there was like, I forgot, a couple of millions of dollars spent on the art. Here we are the same price as a box of Sorcery with only 24 pack instead of 36, and we are much more expensive than Sorcery during the Kickstarter. This bothers me a lot. This is insane. The price should have been about $80. And then, yes, well, you have to buy, it should have been $80 with one rare or higher and one rare per pack. And then, okay, well, I understand. If I want a good collection, I have to buy like 12 boxes. But still, 12 boxes, $80, we are at this 1,000 price range. I think if you are looking at a Kickstarter, it's an indie project. With $1,000, you should have a very, very big collection, like 80% of it, and then you can just trade the rest. Here, with $1,000, you're going to get, let's look at it. Oh, that's higher. Damn. Keep scrolling, my poor. $1,000, you get 6 boxes, which means you get, if I'm not wrong, probably around 120 rare and like 40 epic and about maybe at max 30 mythics. Think about it. But if you get 20 rare per box, which seems it's gonna be less, but if you're lucky with a foil, with a case, 120 rare. There is 100 rare in the set. With a case, the lowest rarity of the rare stuff, you will be far from having one of each. And even with trading, that's going to be super hard. So this really bothers me. The price is wrong. It should have been $80 a box. It should have been one rare or higher. The only thing kind of saving them is that I think this pack is quite good. Because 2 starter, that I'm okay to pay like 35 for that. And a booster box, I'm okay to pay like 80 for that. So like say 120 for that, and the playmat I'm okay to pay like 30. So I think this pack should be like 150, 160. It's not so far. The problem is like it doesn't scale up so much, because if you had 2 box, you add, math is hard, but you add 180. So there are, you add 145 for each box. So the price is completely wrong. And that's why I can't really recommend this product. I mean, I want to do this one, but I think more than that, it just costs too much. It should really not be this price. So yeah, and we also don't know how the foil will look like. So I mean, even if it looks good digitally, we don't really know. One of the things that bother me before I conclude here is I still have no confirmation of how they're gonna ship in terms of hubs. And damn, that's long. And everybody know if you don't have hub when you ship, because not everybody live in the US of A. Seriously. And if you look at the TCG market, I don't know, it's like 40%. I mean, Asia is big, Europe is huge. I don't know. So if you ship to Europe or to Asia without a hub, which means like directly from wherever they print. Actually, if they print from China, even in US, when they ship to USA, it's going to be expensive, but most likely they will have a hub or a factory or storage in USA. You will have to pay custom. And holy yeah, if $600 worth of thing goes through custom, you're going to end up paying easily like $200 if you're in Europe. At least. So this is a big scary thing, and there is no update. That's why most of serious companies use hubs, even like the small Kickstarter or whatever. Also, like, look at the price. Flare is like the one box, one playmat, and two starter. This is an issue when you put playmat in the basic set, because that makes shipping expensive. But yeah, fine. Oh, USA $15, nice. Europe $40. Oh my god. Canada, I don't really know why Canada would have to pay so much. $40. This makes the whole product $235 for a box and two starter on the playmat, and most likely you will have to play custom. So at like maybe $50 if you're unlucky. We are talking about like $260 to $70 for one box, two starter on the playmat if you're not in the USA. And so that scared me. I asked the price because rest of the world, automatically, if you are not in Europe, you are put in the rest of the world. You know, if you're in Norway or if you're in Switzerland or thing like that, they put 150, and they say that it's gonna be, you know, actual price. But I believe whatever you put here is charged on your credit card when you check out. I mean, when it's funded, Kickstarter just take automatically the price here. So yeah, that bothers me, so I think if you're not in US, that's also too scary, because you could end up paying a lot of custom. There is still 48 hours. Maybe they will correct this. If they do, I will just put a small post on YouTube. So don't forget to follow. But yeah, the custom and the overall price of things. I mean, wow, this is just so expensive. Like I say, if it was like $80 box and there was at least one rare on one rare or epic or mythic per booster box per pack, then I will give it 9 out of 10. I would say this is amazing for everybody. You should look at it if you're a collector, if you just want the art, or if you're a player. Right now, this costs 2 to 3 times more than it should in terms of availability of card. And there are too many cards. There are too many high rarity cards. You can put more uncommon. You can still do it. As it stay here, it's hard for me to give more than 6. Maybe if you're in US and you have a lot of money, maybe I would say like 7, because I do like the concept. If you're outside of the US, I would give it 4, just because it's gonna cost you so much. It's gonna cost you so much. You're gonna pay like $250. If you take $3, you're gonna end up with shipping and custom, probably paying like $700 or $800, and you will get 15 mythics at best, and like 60 rare. So you will get probably a third of the rare collection. You can't really make any very good deck. I mean, you can put cards together, but you can't really enjoy the deck building experience and stuff like that. It's gonna be sad. So yeah, I think that's a wasted opportunity, and I think most of the energy have been focused really on the AI and NFTs. I have no problem with that. The real issue is that it costs too much and there are too many cards on the highest level of rarity. So like I say, if you're in the US, if you have a lot of money, I would give maybe 7 out of 10. I think they will deliver, but you have to know it's going to be super expensive. And don't be disappointed. You're gonna own just a very small part of the game, and I think it's never gonna really become something because of the cost. If you are in Europe or in Japan or China, Australia, this is just too expensive. Except if they announce something about hubs and stuff like that for custom, then we are like about 4 out of 10. If they do change and come back to what I say, like putting more rare, I mean, it's too late to change the price of box, but if the price was like 80, like I was telling you, 80 a box and 2 rare per pack, this would have been an 8 or 9 out of 10. So it's a missed opportunity. Everything looks fine. Otherwise, it's not a scam. It's just it's not well priced, and there are too many rares, and it's too hard to get the card. So it's good for collector, I guess, even though you're gonna feel a lot of FOMO. But if you want to play, it's gonna be kind of sad. In that case, just get the starter and enjoy them. They have some exclusive card. It's gonna cost a lot with shipping. Probably you are looking at 100 in total with custom and stuff like that if you're in Europe. But otherwise, yeah, it's kind of sad. It's just too expensive. That's all. So sorry. I would say Wonder of the First. I love the initiative. I love exploring new field, and I think this is a great idea. It's just I don't know who made those price and would say, oh, you have to get 300 rares, and like, yeah, the whole price and number of rares and scarcity of card was not well thought, and I think they didn't have the right people. Just put this at the end. They are. I think they have been a bit sharky and wanted to get too much money out of it. There was a huge good opportunity. Sadly, I think it's been a bit wasted. That was my opinion. Have a good one, and if there is any update, I will post it on YouTube. See you. Cheers.